Joe, incredible comeback, 35 points down that third term, and you ran them down not once but twice. What do you think inspired that comeback?
We're chasing sustainability and growth in our game, and when you, as a team or as an individual, you know what that looks like through affirmation that we've been presenting to the players. When you get into those moments, their resilience and the want to win, they just will themselves there. And following the messaging, the simple messaging that we're giving them, and it takes, as I've said, I think last week, it takes 23 players out there, and that when they get their moments, we had the sub when we sub Gaffy in, obviously Hawley goes out, and we want every player just to have moments within the game, and we had some big moments from some leaders. But the simple thing in the second half was to rectify our contest and pressure, rectify how we were defending their short kicking game, and when they followed the message, they executed. You're able to sort of just chip away at the score, and that's all I asked of them was just to keep chipping. Don't worry about the outcome. Just keep following the process, and they did that.
There was a stage, later when you were 35 points down, they kicked 7 unanswered goals. Were you at all concerned that the away record was sort of playing on their minds and that was taking away from their contest and their method that you just mentioned?
I can't tell you exactly what they were thinking, but what I did say to them is to take a step forward this week, and to do that is to do it for longer, be consistent with our effort. And I think when you, I suppose, are exposed to that sort of feeling of what it is to chase, the win, and we did that last week, and I was on the back of the Freo game as well. Their desire to get it done is unquestionable. So I was, as much as they kicked some easy goals, I feel like our messaging was consistent. We could see opportunities, especially in the second quarter, we could see opportunities to probably execute a little bit better. I think we kicked 4 points, as much as we weren't getting the game on our terms. So once we cleaned up a few things, as much as they had a bit of a run, I felt that we were still in the game. And when you get a bit of clearance, effectiveness and dominance, and we did that and kicked some goals, and then your leaders step up, well, things start to turn, and they did it right to the wire.
Oscar Allen in that second half, he couldn't get near it really in the first half. Probably a bit of the midfield dominance on their part and a few poor entries, but in that second half he just sort of willed himself into the contest. Yeah,
he was thereabouts even in the first half, which probably went connecting and executing as well. And a couple of his contests he probably sat off a little bit, and true to being a pro and the captain of our footy club, he really stepped up and he got his rewards. The way he competed along with the other players up front was exceptional.
I think Duggan kicked the match winner last week. Allen kicks the match winner this week. Your two co-captains leading from the front. It just justifies the choice, I suppose, doesn't it, really?
Yeah, well, leaders always step up in the big moments, and and that's obviously we talk about those two individuals, but had leaders across the ground. McGovern behind the ball was exceptional. Guys like Duggan through the midfield, as we just mentioned, but Jack Darling, Jake Waterman, like the list goes on in terms of our leaders having big moments. And that's what we found last week as well when the game was in the balance, that our leaders really stepped up in those critical moments, and our young fellas were able to express themselves, and they get belief and confidence on the back of that.
What does it sort of mean for the club, I guess, to win those big moments and have those 2 weeks like you've had the past two weeks?
I think it's massive. You can, anyone that's here at the ground, anyone watching, to see our fans that have come and supported us on this trip, the noise that they created, I think is fantastic. And as much as obviously we're playing away, we know that there's a lot of support back home for the people that have really supported us through what has been some challenging times. Our fans have been exceptional in terms of how they supported us, and at home our players feed off that. And today we definitely heard the people that were here, and we know that we were playing for our supporters back home. And it's been tough, but it's a great feeling to have.
Harley came off in the three-quarter time, just before the third quarter, came back on, played mostly forward. Have you got an injury update on him?
Not exactly what it was, but it was a lower leg, but he just wasn't 100%. But we thought, well, he's a match winner too, so we thought, well, let's try something a little bit different. We're there to try and win the game, and we know that if he gets his hand on the ball, he's either going to score or impact with someone else impacting. So, we decided just to put him forward, and he finished off, but I'm not 100% sure what it is.
There were concerns leading into the match after selection that you might have been a little light on in terms of defensive height. Jinby on Teakle at different times, I think it was 12 centimetre difference, but played really well. How do you sort of see your defensive end hold up?
I thought they held up really well. There were some challenges early on with their aerial presence, but we realised that we had to make sure there was pressure up the ground with the ball. They had some moments, but I thought they competed really well. As you said, Ruben Jimby, his last 4 or 5 weeks have been exceptional in terms of how he's just continued to grow his game. And yeah, we've shown that his vertical jump and his ability to compete in the contest has been a real standout. And even today, when he gets the opportunity to run off half back, he just breaks a line for us. So he was doing it both, but he competed really well.
There's a bit of a groundswell for you at the moment back home with fans and everybody after last week's win, and then this week's win's probably going to add to that. How are you sort of feeling positional wise? Do you feel like that adds to your case to do this full time?
I don't know if it's going to add to my. I think I said whether the wins and losses mount up either way, whether it affects my position. But what I've said all along is I'm here in a position which I'm thankful for and grateful for, that I get an opportunity to help the team be better. And I'm enjoying coaching, as I've said many times, that I'm enjoying what I'm doing because it's the reward that the players are getting for all their hard work and coaching staff that we're putting in. So yeah, why not? Wouldn't you enjoy it?
But it feels like your message is definitely getting through. That must be satisfying as a coach, regardless if you take this forward or not.
Yeah, well, the message is consistent, but it's also the belief of the players because they know what it looks like. They're the guys that go out there and perform, and when you have belief and you have evidence to support that, they're the players that are going to work. We are just trying to make our message consistent to the players and keep reinforcing what it looks like to be at our best.
And how are you in the coach's box at the end there? It all happened sort of pretty quickly.
Yeah, dare say the heart was racing a little bit, but you live for those moments. I would say not to be too close all the time, but that's why you coach. That's why you enjoy it. We strategise over those periods in the game, momentum. We talked about it even in our sort of last meeting, our captain's run meeting yesterday, about if we get caught in these moments of whether we have to defend the lead or try and win the game, and they executed. And that's the growth of the players that that are listening to the consistent message, know that we're going. And it's also instilling a bit of belief that we're going to be in these moments. It was heart wrenching at the end, but had full faith in the players out there to execute and the messaging going out.
And you may have, answered this a million times, but do you feel like you'd suit this head coach caper? Is it something you'd like to do?
Well, as I said, I'm enjoying it. And I've had an opportunity to do it over the last 4 or 5 weeks, in this position, and I've got another couple of weeks to really enjoy it, and we'll see where it goes from there.
Campbell Chesser pulled out the waffle today with groin soreness. Do you have any sort of time frame on when you might see him again?
Not exactly time frame, but he was a little bit sore, and Campbell's the future of the footy club, and we don't want to take any risks.
Thank you. Thanks, Darren.
Thanks, guys.